Cryptids, legends lurking in the shadows. Imagine yourself venturing into the thick of an ancient forest, where the silence is dense and every shadow carries the weight of untold secrets. You sense an unseen presence trailing behind you, a force that doesn't belong to the world you know. This isn't a mere daydream. For centuries, tales of mysterious creatures, cryptids, have embedded themselves in the collective consciousness, feeding both awe and terror. Sightings have been reported far and wide, igniting wonder and dread alike, as though these beings derive their power from the very mystery that surrounds them. These cryptids are more than myth. They are echoes of the primal fears humanity has yet to shake. The mysterious beings of North America. The vast forests of North America are a breeding ground for eerie tales of creatures lurking just beyond the reach of light. One of the most spine-chilling among them is the Mothman, a shadowy figure with piercing red eyes and enormous wings. This creature isn't simply a specter of the night, but a harbinger of doom, said to appear before tragedies. In 1967, a series of sightings occurred in the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where locals began noticing a dark figure soaring over the area. Its red eyes glowed in the dark, evoking pure terror in all who encountered it. Just days later, the Silver Bridge collapsed, claiming 46 lives. To this day, many Point Pleasant residents believe the Mothman's appearance was a warning of the disaster to come. Years later, Mothman sightings persisted, keeping people awake at night, fearing its reappearance could foreshadow another catastrophe. Legends claim that the Mothman appears not only to warn, but to sow fear, delighting in the terror it spreads, while skeptics dismiss it as myth. Those who've seen it swear by the menace in its gaze and the cold chill that seems to follow in its wake. Meanwhile, deep within the ancient forests of the Pacific Northwest, the infamous Bigfoot has remained one of the most enduring mysteries of modern times. Bigfoot is no mere campfire story. It's a creature that has left enormous footprints, snapped branches, and unforgettable encounters in its wake. Standing at an estimated 8 to 10 feet tall, this massive, ape-like figure has been spotted in Washington, Oregon, and Northern California for generations. People have reported sightings of dark, hulking shapes lurking between the trees, only to vanish when approached. Some have even heard its guttural calls echoing through the forest, a sound that chills the blood. In 1967, two men in California captured what remains one of the most famous videos of Bigfoot, known as the Patterson-Gimlin film, showing a large, fur-covered figure walking upright in the woods. The footage has been scrutinized, dissected, and debated for decades, with many unable to dismiss it as a hoax. Today, Bigfoot believers continue to scour these woods, convinced that the creature is not only real, but watches and waits from within the shadows. Heading further south, Florida's mysterious skunk ape haunts the fog-covered swamps. It resembles Bigfoot, but is said to emit an overpowering stench, earning it the name skunk ape. Eyewitnesses describe its red eyes, hunched posture, and a smell so foul it nearly suffocates those unfortunate enough to encounter it. Some locals recount tales of walking along the swamp's edge, only to feel an ominous presence lurking nearby, accompanied by a stench that makes their stomachs turn. Many have fled the swamps in terror, certain that the skunk ape had been stalking them. Although photographs and plaster casts of footprints have been collected, no definitive proof of the creature exists. But locals know better than to dismiss it as mere legend. The unfathomable monsters of South America. South America's mysterious wilderness is home to creatures as enigmatic as its rich cultures. In the dark, winding mines of Chile, tales circulate of the alicanto, a radiant bird with feathers of gold and silver that glows in the depths of the earth. The alicanto is believed to bring either fortune or doom to those who dare follow it. Miners speak of nights when an ethereal glow appears in the tunnels, leading them deeper into the earth. Some claim it led them to rich veins of gold, while others say it lured them into dead ends, where they were trapped in darkness, Those who survived described the glow as mesmerizing, yet unnatural, as if the bird itself is a guardian of hidden realms that resents any trespasser. Further into Brazil's rainforests lies a creature that defies explanation, the Minhocao, a colossal worm-like beast believed to be able to alter the landscape as it burrows through the earth. Legends say the Minhocao leaves behind enormous trenches and torn earth as it moves, surfacing occasionally to drag entire trees down with it. In the 19th century, reports surfaced of a landslide near a remote village. But when locals investigated, they discovered massive furrows stretching for miles. Some speculated it was an earthquake, but witnesses insist they saw something immense writhing in the ground. Locals now avoid certain areas, fearing the Minhocao might resurface and devour them whole. Asia's terrifying beings. Asia, steeped in ancient mythology and folklore, harbors terrifying creatures believed to lurk in rivers, lakes, and dark forests. One of the most feared among them is Kappa, a water-dwelling creature said to reside in Japan's rivers. The Kappa, often described with a green, scaly body, webbed hands, and a water-filled bowl on its head, is a creature known to drag unsuspecting victims, especially children, beneath the water's surface. Local legends say that to survive a Kappa attack, one must bow to it, as Kappa are compelled to return the bow, causing water to spill from the bowl on their heads, weakening them. Numerous stories tell of children playing near rivers, only to be nearly pulled in by an unseen force. Those who've encountered it say the Kappa's eyes hold a deep, unsettling intelligence, as if they delight in instilling fear. The Kappa's malicious nature is offset only by its weakness, leading villagers to leave cucumber offerings by riversides, a tribute meant to appease it. On foggy evenings, locals avoid riversides, fearful of an encounter with this deadly, child-hungry spirit. In the mountains of China, near the frigid depths of Lake Tianqi, lies another cryptid cloaked in mystery, the Lake Tianqi monster. In the lake, nestled high in the Changbai Mountains, rumors have circulated of a serpent-like creature, its shadowed form occasionally breaking the surface. In 2007, several tourists claimed they saw a massive creature just below the water's surface, moving with a serpent-like grace. Some described it as having scales that shimmered briefly in the sunlight before it dove back down. This monster has eluded capture, but local legend holds that it's an ancient guardian, preventing intruders from defiling the lake. Expeditions have been mounted, yet the lake's icy waters and intense weather have thwarted attempts to find it. Some villagers believe the creature's appearance signals an omen, its presence marking the lake as a boundary between the known and unknown. Australia's horrors. Australia's swamps and outback are notorious for housing creatures that defy explanation and terrorize those who venture too close. In its dark waters lies the bunyip, a terrifying beast with the power to paralyze any who hear its roar. Known for its haunting cries and fierce appearance, the bunyip has been described as a monstrous creature with reptilian scales, sharp tusks, and eyes that pierce through the night. In 1847, a party of hunters discovered massive footprints leading toward a swamp. Hearing a deep, guttural growl echoing across the water, one hunter ventured closer, but upon seeing a massive shadow moving under the surface, he fled in terror, abandoning his equipment. Those who hear the bunyip's call say it sends shivers down their spines, a reminder that in Australia's wilderness, some horrors remain unseen yet always present. In the outback, the Yarramush who preys on those who rest under ancient trees. This creature, resembling a small, red-skinned goblin with suction pads on its hands, waits for travelers to drift into slumber before it pounces. Survivors describe waking up feeling drained, as though something had leached their strength during the night. Elders warn travelers against resting under certain trees, fearful that they might fall victim to this creature's vampiric grip. Africa's deadly beasts. The jungles and rivers of Africa are steeped in lore of creatures that chill the heart. Deep within the Congo, Locals tell of JBA FO5, a giant spider with a leg span large enough to ensnare a human. Explorers speak of stumbling upon massive webs that stretch across trees, some claiming to see shadows skittering across these webs in the dead of night. Locals avoid such areas, fearing that the JBA FO5 might be lying in wait, eager to catch its next meal. In South Africa's rivers, the mamlambo is a terrifying sight, known as the brain-sucking fish. This creature is said to drown its victims, devouring their brains before discarding their bodies. Stories abound of people going missing near the riverbanks, their bodies found later with empty skulls. Locals fear mamlambo as an embodiment of vengeful spirits, believing it claims souls for the underworld, punishing those who wander too close to its waters. These stories, passed through generations, are reminders that the world still harbors mysteries we may never fully understand. Each cryptid, in its own way, is a testament to the limits of human knowledge, lurking just beyond the edge of discovery, where reality and legend entwine.